This is the Rick Owens Converse collaboration that I don't think anybody saw coming. From Rick Owens making his own Converse style shoe in the Ramones to now making his own actual Converse collaboration, this is probably the most bizarre collaboration that has stirred up quite a bit of controversy within some religious scenes, and today I'm going to talk about this shoe and give it a review. No, but all seriousness, what's up guys? My name is Matt and I'm back today after giving you that Doug DeMuro style intro to talk about the Rick Owens Converse collaboration that when I first saw it was the most intriguing collaboration that I've seen to date. And the reason being is, like I said in the intro, Rick Owens already has a Converse inspired shoe in the Ramones. He has it both in his mainline collection and in his Dark Shadow collection. And this shoe to me was just very intriguing when I heard about it. And I felt that it warranted a review on its own because of the fact that it is so much different than a Converse that you would buy from the store for around $80. And today we're going to talk about all that and more. So getting into the actual design itself, it does feature very, very Rick-esque styling to it. So if we're going to start with the most polarizing part of the shoe, which is the toe box. As the toe box, you can kind of see it features some Rick Owens styling to it. Let's ignore the squared off part for a section, but the actual toe box goes back a little bit further, and then getting into the very, very jarring part, which I feel like is the make or break part of the shoe. If you like this, you should go out and buy it right now, and if you don't, you should probably stay away from it. And it is a squared off toe box. So if you look at it from right here, very, very square. It's very, very jarring. Not as much from the side as you would suspect, but for a Converse, which is, in my opinion, a shoe that I find hard to wear because it already looks like a boat on my foot, you essentially add like an extra ½ an inch of material right here for the extended squared off toe box. In my opinion, a little bit weird. One kind of cool feature where if you do like the toe box is right in the middle here, it does feature like some slight Converse design from like that little triangle rubber that we featured kind of on the side here in black. It is something that I personally kind of like as a small little touch. But again, it's almost like that ska-inspired feel to this whole shoe. That's really where Rick went with the shoe in general. And getting into the back while staying on the outsole itself, you can kind of see the Converse part of the shoe is kind of like right here, and the Rick part is everything like right here and here. So in the middle, you'll see your normal Converse design on both sides, and it features some black right here, which is that normal kind of Converse style to it. Kind of continues in that styling all the way up until like the middle part of the shoe. And then you kind of get into that Rick Owens Ramones style look, where it has a very smooth part all the way around. And then you see the dark shadow on the back. Now getting into the upper of the shoe itself, you will see here you'll have your All-Star badge. That hasn't changed. It'll be on the inside of the shoe. So this is left, it'll be on the inside. But it does feature Rick Owens canvas, which I was not expecting at this price point. These are $180, and probably will go for around $200 on the open market. Honestly, like this canvas feels way better than any other Converse I've ever felt. From what I've heard is it is his dark shadow canvas that he used on this upper, which is a little interesting to me, only because of the fact that if you look at a Rick Owens dark shadow shoe, they usually go to I think around $500 to $800 for like a Ramones with canvas, and this is $180. Like, you can't tell me that like $300 is in the sole itself. I mean, I think it looks better, but looks are obviously subjective. Some might like this better. That's up to you. But the actual quality, it's like half really good and half not. So in my opinion, the rubber is the same kind of Converse-y feel. I think it is a little bit thicker, but the outsole, which is what's going to be really important, is still a Converse style outsole. It's, I think, gonna wear down equally as quick as anything else. I don't know, it just seems a little strange that they spent more on this upper than kind of spending more on the outsole, which is gonna be in more contact with the ground, and I feel always wears out faster than the upper of your shoe. I don't know, it's a little bit strange decision making there. It is a pretty heavy shoe, like at least in like hand feel. My like leather Rick Owens that I have here, my Geo Trashers, they feel lighter in hand than these canvas Rick Owens Converse. So yeah, staying with the upper of the shoe, you kind of see a little bit of really nice Rick touch here. which is the laces here are kind of like that bone color that Rick is really known for. Very, very subtle touches like this, I think really help collaborations out, and I think for Rick, nailed it with this touch. Such a really nice feature, and if you don't like those, you can go with the black. For me personally, if you're buying a Rick shoe, it should feature these cream laces, and I think really set off the tone. It's not like a cream, it's like a gray cream, if that makes any sense. Really hard to capture, but it kind of ties in a lot with like the stitching details on the shoe, with the cream outsole on it. Really ties in the whole shoe together. And then going to the top of the shoe, it has an elongated tongue, which in my opinion, I don't really like. I think that's why you're seeing the low tops kind of sit, is because it has a very elongated tongue, which is, I think, Geo Basket inspired with that like elongated tongue like that. Since I don't think a lot of Rick Owens Ramones have an extended tongue. I think there are some, if I'm correct. But the elongated tongue just isn't something that I care about anymore. It kind of looks goofy. But if you put like pants over this, you're really only seeing like that part of the shoe anyways. So it's not that big a deal. But you'll see up here that you'll have the TURBODRK up top here with Converse and then dark shadow below it. And in comfort-wise, this shoe, I mean, it's a Converse to me. Like, they kind of just feel like bricks on feet. I would say a normal Rick Owens shoe already kind of feels like a brick, but at least has a leather insole, which I feel like kind of hugs your foot a little bit more and better over time than just normal like memory foam will. My personal preference is always like a leather insole like that with some of the higher end shoes you see. This one, I mean, yeah, it's not very comfy. It's not the best insole. And I guess to kind of show you guys it a little bit, but inside here you will see kind of your Converse with your Rick Owens logo on top of it, and it'll say made in Vietnam. And then let's get into the final part of this shoe, which isn't actually the shoe itself, but it's some controversy. There's some very, very big controversy with this shoe. And it's coming from the Christian scene about some demonic imagery used with this shoe. And just to put a disclaimer out there for everybody, while saying this, I am a Christian myself. It's just who I am. I've worked at a church for the better part of my life. And so these opinions are my own. It's not of the churches that I work for or anything like that. Just my personal opinion after following Rick for many, many, many years. And also being a Christian for many, many, many years. And it's that the demonic imagery to me isn't anything that I get flustered by or anything like that. It's something that Rick does all the time with a lot of his stuff, is make imagery that kind of like irritates you a little bit. To kind of use that style of imagery to really piss you off. I don't know if that's the way to say it, but it's kind of like shock factor, you know? It's like, how can he shock you? And I don't think that Rick is praising the devil or anything like that by making the shoe. I don't think Converse is doing that by making this shoe. I don't think they're worshiping Satan by making this shoe. If anything, Rick Owens was born a Catholic. If that tells you anything about where his faith is, it tells you a lot of what's happening there. And I think the best thing is, I think GQ wrote a thing about this, which I should have linked below. But I'll read one of the statements that Rick made about the shoe, because in my opinion, you'd rather hear from the man himself who's talking about the whole thing and not some random people from the internet like myself talking about it all. So he goes to say, I've been using this pentagram for a long time because obviously it was adolescent occult association. Owens wrote, but I like geometric diagrams like that because it's a very primal way. They are the culture's grasp for control and a way to organize thoughts and systems, and a pentagram in this day and age with all of its associations, I like the fact it refers to an alternative system, and that suggests openness and empathy. It's just that the pursuit of pleasure, this pursuit of sensation. But one of the main things that I think it suggests is empathy and a consideration of systems of living that might not be standard. So that leads us to be more accepting and tolerant of other systems, which I think is a good thing. And then it continues on in the article by saying, in a statement, Converse collaboration, blah, 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 pentagram has been many different associations, and there's no way a comment from Converse on religion, nor does it replace the iconic all-star logo on his shoes, which, if he had them, it's right here. It doesn't take away. It's right here. Here's another logo. There's a logo up there. It's featured on the inside. Like, to me, it's not that big a deal, probably because I've been following Rick for such a long time. And in some cases, I like the use of dark imagery. I don't think that the Bible, even in itself, is the 100% just a story about Jesus and his resurrection. I think that is a very important part of it. And I think hope is a very, very important part of the Bible, but there's still some dark imagery in there. When you look at a lot of the stories in the Bible, the fact that God was telling Abraham to sacrifice his son, the willingness of him to do that, I feel like that in a sense is also dark in itself too. Like, I don't think the Bible should be or be seen as a story of just complete hope. It's still a story of like us as a human species. It's still a story that has some darkness to it. The fact that, they had to kill Jesus. Whether you believe in God or not, I think as a Christian, in my opinion, you shouldn't be trying to cancel people for just creating a shoe. Even with Lil Nas X, even though I don't agree more with that way of handling things and adding actual human blood into stuff, you can't not admit that the shock factor of some stuff like that really drives attention, and I think drove a lot of attention for this shoe that it would not have gotten if it didn't just try to use a little bit of shock imagery with it. And again, Rick Owens has been using this logo on stuff for years, and it's never bothered me once as a Christian guy. I never thought, oh, I'm wearing the demon's clothing while I'm wearing Rick Owens. Like, I literally have owned a pair of Rick Owens in the back. I've owned them for years now. Never really cared, never noticed, never crossed my mind at all about any demonic thing that he has going. It's just who he is. I think that when you're supporting some fashion brands like that, you make the conscious choice of buying a brand for certain reasons, and if you want to buy into that brand, that's on you. You don't have to buy it. If you don't like it, then don't buy it. I don't smoke, so I don't buy cigarettes. It's just a thing that happens. If you don't want to support your demonic imagery, then just don't buy the shoe. And if you don't like Converse for doing it, then don't buy Converse. But then just realize as well, when you're buying a Nike shoe, you're also buying Converse brand. So keep that in mind as well when you're buying shoes. Is that, oh, I'm not buying Converse, I'm going to go buy these Nikes. Well, Nike still wins no matter what. Oh, I don't want these Nikes, I'm going to buy these Jordans. Well, guess what? Nike still wins. The only way you're going to beat Converse is if you go buy the Adidas version of them. That's pretty much the way that I see it. You either just don't care like me and just keep living your life how you're going to live it, and respect shoes for what they are rather than get pissed off. I just thought it was important to mention that since it is getting a lot of like news attention from this. And in my opinion, this shoe is a great collaboration between Rick Owens and Converse that I don't think anybody saw coming. I think material choices on the shoe are honestly really good. I like the use of these fabrics, this really thick canvas that he's using on the upper here. I think the toe box is a little questionable. I don't like it personally. But I think some people would love this if they're really into Rick Owens. I really like this toe box though. Like the part that's not covered, if that was the only thing that changed, I think these shoes are a home run. But they aren't a home run because they add this like really crazy toe cap that is just goes beyond anything I think I could wear it with. And that's probably the only thing for me that I don't like about this shoe. And it really is a deal breaker for me. Pretty much everything else is perfect with the shoe. I mean, comfort could be a little bit improved, but I mean, man, for a shoe that's like $180, the physical quality of these Converse is, I think, the best. I think these are better than the CDG ones. I think from what I've heard, the comfort-wise, the CDG ones are the best. I probably would say these are like a normal Converse comfort, but correct me if I'm wrong on that in the comments below if they actually have the same insole, because, and I hold my opinion of, these aren't very comfortable, and probably the CDG ones aren't either. Let me know what you think of these Rick Owens Converse in the comments below, and let me know if you guys have any thoughts or comments on these like demonic imagery, or what you think of it in the comments below. I'd be curious to hear what other people think as well, because my opinion isn't all that matters, and I come from a little bit more open side of the Christian world than most do. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. I'm back making more videos like this, so keep in touch, and that'll be it. And I just want to say I'm going to be doing a giveaway soon with one of my Represent shirts that I have, and that will be a giveaway too. I might do a little bit of Richie Lee denim too that I've had that I haven't worn. So I'll keep that in mind. Stay healthy, guys. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.